As adults continue to talk about it, children may be picking up on our anxieties.
Channel 3's Claudia Coco spoke with a counselor today about how you should be addressing this topic with your children. Claudia.
Yeah, Cindy, David, this is big, especially since there is going to be a disruption to school. Now it's going to have to be a conversation. The counselor I spoke with earlier today says the most important thing is you have that open conversation. You make sure to reassure them that it's going to be okay. Licensed professional counselor Kristen Smith says it's time to be talking with your children about coronavirus.
I don't want caregivers to be afraid to discuss it. As parents, we tend to want to have all of the information before we sit down and talk to our kids about things. We don't have that advantage in this situation.
She says give information based on their age and maturity level, but the child should feel supported and reassured.
Children actually, when they don't feel like they have the information or they feel like they're being kept in the dark, the anxiety is higher, especially because they're very perceptive. So
there also should be a conversation about that if it gets brought up between children, how they should respond.
But really just kind of say, hey, here's what we know. We're not all going to die. There are medical professionals on this, and we don't want to help spread misinformation, and we definitely don't want you or your friends to panic.
But as adults, we need to be managing our own anxiety about the virus.
I think it's very, very important for caregivers to manage their own anxiety about it, be as calm as they possibly can.
Especially with kids out of school next week, if they are spending time with each other. Smith mentioned that you probably need to address greeting your friends, maybe not hugs or holding hands on the playground or anything like that. Finding an alternative way to say hello or goodbye, just waving instead of, a greeting hug. For now, live in Hamilton County, Claudia Coco, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Great information. Thank you, Claudia.
And by the way, you'll be hearing more from Claudia on our 6 o'clock news this evening, including a live interview with Hamilton County Superintendent Dr. Brian Johnson. We'll be talking about the closing of schools for at least the next week, probably the next 2. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into First at 4. We're still talking about the coronavirus and its impact on so many people. Many professional leagues have taken preventative stances when it comes to the coronavirus in the U.S.
We're just trying to keep track. The NBA's put their season on hold. Now Major League Baseball and National Hockey League following suit. And we have an update when it comes to the NCAA tournament, March Madness itself. Ben Bobick is in the studio with the latest.
David, Cindy, it's an unprecedented time when it comes to the world of sports, with many pulling a halt to their operations. Earlier today, we heard the news of the cancellation of conference basketball tournaments across the country, including the SEC tournament in Nashville. Now the NCAA has come out and announced the cancellation of all winter and spring championships, including the men and women's NCAA tournament. Here's a look at the statement recently put out by the NCAA about 40 minutes ago. And if you notice, it says spring championships as well, meaning baseball and softball. So we won't be getting the College World Series this spring either. Many believe the NCAA would just postpone the tournaments. Plenty of college coaches expressing they would not mind playing in May if need be, but NCAA President Mark Emmert and the Board of Governors deciding to go ahead and cancel it altogether to try and help the spread of the virus. As mentioned before, it's an unprecedented time with two NBA players testing positive for the virus. It was only a matter of time the NCAA would have to do something. As sports fans, your heart has to break for the seniors of these sports, but at the end of the day, this is now about something bigger than the game. The health and safety of these young men and women is what's most important, and that's the reasoning for these decisions. Coming up at 6 in sports, we'll have a full breakdown of the leagues postponing play and what it means for the future of sports. Live in the studio, Ben Bobick, Channel 3, Eyewitness Sports.
Well, certainly life as we know it has changed. No question about that, Ben. Thank you. And our team coverage continues regarding the coronavirus. Small businesses could potentially be affected. Of course, you heard the president say that last night on national TV.
Well, that story and another live update from Channel 3's Jake Chapman in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you for watching this afternoon. I'm David Carroll.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. We began this evening where Hamilton County Mayor Jim Coppinger and the Hamilton County Health Department just wrapped up a press conference about 30 minutes ago discussing the coronavirus outbreak.
So here's the latest. 18 confirmed cases in Tennessee, but zero in Hamilton County. Channel 3's Jake Chapman is live with more from today's event. Jake?
Well, David, the purpose of this press conference was to address the rumors that the virus may be here in Hamilton County. Mayor Coppinger, along with health officials here in Hamilton County, say there are no confirmed cases at this time. Now, they say one person has been tested, but the results came back negative. But they believe we will see a case in the near future, and they want to be prepared in any way they can to combat this virus. Now, one of the questions a lot of people have been asking is about tests and are they available. They want to clarify how the test test works. So they told us this afternoon the test is similar to the flu test, where they'll take a sample through a throat and nose swab, and the results will come back within 24 to 48 hours. Now, they're currently monitoring 2 people who traveled to Italy recently, but they have not shown any symptoms at this time. Of course, they encourage people, if they are experiencing symptoms, to call the health department and remain at home. Quarantine yourself until you are instructed otherwise by health officials. And as always, to continue to take personal hygiene and sanitation seriously. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, and be sure to keep your distance from people to prevent spread of the virus. Now, Coppinger ended the press conference by saying they want to be transparent with the public about this health pandemic, and they will let everyone know once a case is confirmed. I'll have another update about the press conference coming up tonight at 6. Live in Hamilton County, Jake Chapman, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Jake, more news today. Hamilton County schools will be closed for sure next week, in all likelihood the next 2 weeks, and this is starting on Monday. That second week is pending board approval, which is believed to be just a formality.
And spring break that was supposed to be the week of April 6th will be moved up to March 23rd. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee also declared a state of emergency today. The governor's action comes one day after the World Health Organization said COVID-19 had become a global pandemic. President Donald Trump ordered a ban on air travel from Europe. The NBA suspended its season, and schools throughout Tennessee said they would shutter their campuses. Lee's decision to declare a state of emergency comes just 2 days after he said such a move wasn't necessary until Tennessee had seen clusters of affected patients.
In the state of Georgia, the first death from coronavirus has been confirmed. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp says the victim is a 67-year-old male and was